G'day, ladies and gents, and welcome back to War Thunder. Today we're going to be having a look at the G.91, which I honestly haven't seen many people cover the G.91. It's one of my favourite jets, probably because you can do whatever you want in it. It's 8.0, and it probably gets the friendliest matchmaking for its performance. I honestly don't know a better jet at this BR, apart from the production one. But the G91 is easily one of the most enjoyable jets to play in the whole game. It's fast, it accelerates well, it retains energy well, it has a good selection of ordnance, it rolls well, turns well, handles its speed well. The only thing it really doesn't have is head-on firepower and I guess durability. But that's pretty characteristic of a light fighter. The G91 itself was first introduced to War Thunder in patch 1.69, and ever since it hasn't been touched, and I find it kind of criminal that Gaijin hasn't put it up to at least 8.3. And I'm told, I haven't touched the production version, because I've just been enjoying the pre so much, that the production version should probably be a 9.0. Now, don't take my word for that, and I don't know how accurate that would be, but I know for sure the pre-production variant can easily be 8.3 and not suffer. As it stands, it currently dunks on P80s, 262s, if it faces them, MiG-9s, and I think it's rather unfair. The only real competition in a down tier that the G91 has is the Vampire, because the Vampire can outturn it, and it can keep with it up to 800 kilometers per hour. But apart from that, the G91 has literally every metric going for it over almost every other 8.0 in the whole game. It is, without a doubt, the best 8.0 in the whole game. For me, I like to play the G91 very aggressively, because I can afford to, because it's a naturally aggressive plane in a low BR. And in this particular match, I've been down-tiered. So you'll see me play a little bit recklessly, but you'll also see the capabilities of this plane. It's just insane. I'm already at 2,000 meters and traveling 600 kilometers an hour. This is something you do in a MiG. It's nuts. And this thing's 8.0. It's not 9.0 or 8.7 or 8.3 where it probably should be. This thing has clubbed low-tier jets ever since it came out. And honestly, the only way to basically make it fair is if you strap rockets on. And I know that sounds a bit dumb, but the rockets hamper your performance quite significantly. And honestly, that's the only thing that makes the plane anything 7.0 or worth facing 7.0s at all. It's just insane in the way it performs. People were complaining about the Vautour when it came out, and people rightfully complained about the G91 when it came out. I find it odd that Gaijin hasn't touched the G91. They really should put it up a BR, but I guess there's something that maybe we don't know about. Maybe there's some sort of statistics, or there's something in the future that's coming that will make the G91 absolutely garbage. And honestly, that's something that is kind of needed. The G91 has almost single-handedly killed 8.0 and 7.0. No one wants to fly P80 anymore. No one wants to fly the MiG-9 or the Meteor Mark III, simply because the G91 has killed it. Look how easily I can dispatch of that F2H, and that Spitfire, which shouldn't be here. Two very easy kills. And the fact that I can meet them at altitude, especially a Griffin Spitfire and an F2H, which have absolutely insane energy retention, by the way, just speaks volumes about the plane. You have the ability to play so aggressively, and you can play aggressively to the point of recklessness, which is not how you should be playing a plane. You should have to play a plane in a measured, strategical manner, rather than just going in balls deep and coming out with 4 kills like I do here. Not only that, but when your team composition is mostly 8.0s to the volume of G91s, you begin to get matches where every side is just a steamroll. It's a bit like the CL13 at the moment, where at the moment the Axis is just stomping, because if their team isn't full of CL13s and GDR Bisses, it's got G91s, it's got C2Bs, and no one else is playing anything else, partially because there is nothing else, and partially because the stuff that is there is just wildly better than what you could potentially have as at 8.0. So the only alternative really is the C1A, and no one ever plays the C1A because it's complete garbage. But it's just absolutely soaked. Like, the Matchmaker is absolutely soaked full of 8.0s and like high 8.0s and 9.0s. And when you get that, you get a Matchmaker that isn't fair and that isn't balanced, and people will start to leave. They'll go and play tanks, they'll go and play props, or they'll just go and play another game. This is where Gaijin needs to sort of, I guess, get their acts together and try and balance out jets a little bit by up-tiering the jets that need up-tiering, and by adding extra jets that may not be the meta, but they may help to flesh out certain trees. So the ME-163B is a good start. Personally, I think that plane may have potential. I have only fought it a couple of times, and MG-151s at 8.0, that might be a good thing. They're slow, they're a bit slow and a bit shitty at 9.0. But at 8.0, you never know. They might just come around and they might just become really nice. So the G91, you can see me playing really recklessly. I'm going head on, I'm turn fighting meteors, I'm playing slow, and it's just working out because it's such a brain dead plane to fly. As long as you don't get critical damage. As soon as that engine is hit, it's going to start to die. And you can see there is already a performance drop in my plane, and it's been hit. So, honestly though, with the team members that I've got around me, it doesn't matter. The enemy team is dead before you even know it. It's that ridiculous. It's gotten to a point where it's just that ridiculous that I'm happy to commit to a head-on pass with a Meteor, despite him having Hispanos and me having 50 cals, because I know that I'm going to come out better. It's just a steamroll. And whilst I do love the G91, and I try and push myself in the G91 pre, especially against 9.0s, which it can function against, and if I get a good game, I'll show everyone. But in a full down tier, there is literally nothing that is better. Maybe a spaded LA-15. But even then, it would be contestable. I think Gaijin should put the G91 up to 8.3, the pre, and the production version potentially to 9.0. But until then, it looks like allied jet teams are just going to get stomped into the ground. Anyway, ladies and gents, take care, and I'll catch you next time.